Welcome. It's another beautiful day and I've got my coffee, so let's watch some stuff.
Did you know that you are the only living person on Earth right now, and everyone else is just a product of your imagination? Listen carefully, you'll be shocked. There's a theory where you are actually the only living person right now, the only consciousness that truly exists. It's called the egg theory. Your family, your friends, the strangers you pass on the street, all of them exist because your mind doesn't want to feel alone. But here's the eerie part of this theory. Since you are the sole true consciousness, you will live every possible life that has ever existed and will ever exist. You will be reincarnated and born billions and billions of times until you have lived every individual's life. And then you can hatch this egg and become a god. The entire universe was created as an egg for the main character, which is you. And once you have lived every human life ever, you will be born as a god. Every time you hurt someone, you are hurting yourself. It may sound horrific, but you wouldn't know if you've already lived billions of lives. You've probably already lived over 1 billion, and you just don't remember. You probably lived your mother's life, your cousins, the stranger across the street. In reality, you are me and I am you. So every single person you know and will ever know was you.
So I've heard of people having this first person syndrome where they think they're the only person on earth and the world revolves around them. But that's taking it to a whole different level. Like you actually think that you are everybody. Like everybody. That's some narcissistic-ish right there. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I'd ever want to be around those people. I'm sure you've noticed. Trying a different perspective today. I'm sure by tomorrow I will be in a different corner of the room because I like switching it around up in here till I find the right spot. Until then, I hope you enjoy.
Look, everyone doesn't necessarily start at a steam engine and go to an internal combustion engine and then, electric power, nuclear power, and go up the ladder that we come on. If the stuff is true about the origin and the binary star system and they have heavier elements that we don't have, and this stable element 115 is a naturally occurring material, maybe that's the first thing they started experimenting with. And the version of their steam engine, their first product, was something that operated like this. And actually when they came to Earth to look around, or whatever, they were amazed at the stuff we were doing. These guys burned stuff and squirted out the back to go forward. So who says they follow any kind of normal progression like that?
You'll notice it's a little darker in my background. We had to go do a job and it's a few hours later now, and I've lost sunlight. Either way, that video, I don't like how he said normal progression because it's actually a relative progression. It's our relativity and not their relativity, just like he said. But still, I totally agree with that 100%. We make the mistake of thinking that our way is the only way that anything is done. Evolution didn't happen on other planets as it did in ours because they have different materials on those planets. And we have no way of knowing how something would evolve or become in other atmospheres or other planets with other elements, with other things to make the things. We don't know. Thank you so much for joining me for today's coffee talk. If you're having a good time, I'd hope you'd hit that subscribe button and come back tomorrow because I'm making a new video every day.
Family, you see this map over here? This is the North Pole, and allegedly this is another location of the Garden of Eden. We have been taught that the Garden of Eden is in the Middle East. There has been a lot of discussions and debates surrounding this location, the Garden of Eden, that connects the Euphrates River, Tigris River, Cherokee River, and the Araxes River. You see this book, family? It contains the great rejected text of the Bible. This book has compiled all the lost books of the Bible. Just look how thick it is and how large it is. And if you wonder why it's not in the Bible, it's because of this man, Cardinal Hugo de Santo Caro. He was the first one that rejected the text in the year 1263. But look at this, family. And they saw the water was split from there into 4 rivers over the earth. Does this water look like it spread throughout the whole earth? Or is this one in the North Pole looks like it spread all over the earth? Look, America, Asia, and all the other continents. Link to book in bio.
That is an awful lot of information to just be rejected from Holy Scripture. I wonder how it changes religions as we know them, the ones that are based off of the Bible anyway. Like the location of the Garden of Eden. Now we're looking in the North Pole. That's an interesting bit of information.
Temperature emerges from the motion of particles. So if you have like one particle, you can't really talk about it being hot or cold because you need a conglomerate. You need an agglomeration of particles to be able to talk about their average motion. And in that sense, temperature is this emergent idea that rests upon more fundamental ideas, the molecules and atoms that make up reality. Maybe that's true of time. Maybe time as we know it is a property that only makes sense in certain environments when there's enough stuff arranged in the right patterns. But fundamentally, maybe there are atoms or molecules of time.
Now, in my understanding, which isn't extremely educated, so this is just my understanding of time, is that time is completely made up. We invented time for ourselves based on our own experience. It's 100% relative, just like evolution on our planet is completely relative to our planet. But time is also completely relative to us, because if we were to take our units of time and apply them anywhere else, it's completely different. Now, to say that time is like a molecule is very difficult to wrap my brain around, to be perfectly honest. But I don't see the relation there. I want to know what you think because, like I said, not very educated in this matter, and I know somebody is. So let's have some of that education.
New word alert, gerontocracy. A gerontocracy is a form of oligarchical rule in which an entity is ruled by its leaders who are significantly older than most of the adult population. In many political structures, power within the ruling class accumulates with age, making the oldest individuals the hoarders of the most power. As you can see, this is what we have in the US, but unfortunately, the elders with power are not taking care of the youth they govern, causing a growing disdain and frustration with those who govern. This age discrepancy has resulted in a clear disconnect between the reality of the youth and the economic, political, systemic, and structural decisions of the gerontocracy. To compound this, they hoard wealth, raise the cost of living, and cut social and government safety nets that help them get to where they are. But what do you think? Let me know because I'm Jared, a behavior scientist, precision teacher, and PhD student at Penn State, Black and here to educate. In my opinion, this is just the result of a collection of issues we have, all of which require drastic change, revolution, to resolve.
Maybe there needs to be some kind of a limit. I don't like saying it because it's so age discrimination and whatevers, but let's be honest. We got our senators falling asleep at the podium trying to explain what they're doing for our country. For crying out loud. We need to and not like the 40 to in the 60s, and that should be it because these 20, 30-year-olds right now think that they are hot stuff and they are just too lazy and they need accommodations because they're time blind or whatever. That's the last thing we need. We don't need any kids in the office. Any kind of office. We need solid middle-aged people that have done their homework, went through tough times and know what they're doing. This is just, it's crap what we got going on right now, and it's sad.
What the heck is happening in Boston right now? These idiots in Boston are letting illegal migrants into their homes. I have a video I'm going to play for you here, and I want you to make your own opinion on what's actually going on.
Everyone starts the day smiling.
It's a delight. And it's really fun having them. What I realized is there's so much prejudice against refugees, mostly because people don't know them.
Lisa says she feels like she has her own personal chef and
What?
Donde loves cooking.
This lady was quoted saying she feels like she has a personal chef now. We just house all these migrants so I can not cook anymore. I must be taking crazy pills, right? I feel like this poor old lady is just lonely and she's looking for some people to talk to. But housing people that you have no idea who they are, what their background is, it sounds insane to me. It also sounds insane that this is being pushed on the people of Boston who own homes. I'm sure this specific Haitian couple are nice. Again, I have no idea who they are. But you could not pay me to house people that came into this country illegally. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, because I am just baffled by what's happening in the country right now.
This is how people end up being found unalive in a ditch. That's just insane. That's absolutely, like he said, you couldn't pay me enough to house people who are breaking our country's most fundamental laws. Put them in my house. You know. No, there's other videos I saw also that are calling this slavery, because now there's things she doesn't have to do. But is she paying them? I mean, yeah, she's letting them live there, but are they going to make a wage for cooking meals for her family? Yes, I mean, geez, rent's so damn expensive. It's kind of like a wage, but still. No way.
To all you Swifties out there, don't come for me. I'm just joshing. That's not Taylor Swift. That's the former high priestess of the Church of Satan, who looks a lot like Taylor Swift. That's pretty ironic, right? Because it's not like this is a coven of witches, right? Choosy lyrics. That doesn't look like a summoning ritual. Just speculation, right? And then someone posted this online.
Summon the demons!
Someone else was thinking the same thing.
The worst part is she commented twice and she says, is this the new 1, 2, 3, let's go B? So she's saying, is summon the demons the new crowd chant that they say when she does this witchcraft ritual?
Now to any supporters, I know I already posted this, but for some reason it's not showing on my account even though it didn't get taken down.
Okay, so now she's satanic, and witches are satanic, although I know that they're not. They like do this whole earth and moon and sun thing, and it's not really Satan. But for the sake of argument, she's satanic, and that's how she's going to survive after the reset. Is she's got her powers placed in the deal that she made with Satan. And it's all dumb. It's all dumb. She's just being theatrical. Come on, people.
Have you ever heard of the incredible theory that everyone would have been in 2012? Yes, it's the theory that everyone died. According to this theory, we would all have perished in 2012, and the life we're living now would actually be a flash before death. This flash gives the impression of lasting decades, even a lifetime, when in reality it takes place in a fraction of a second. Imagine that we were all victims of a global catastrophe in 2012, and that we are now living through this flash, with time passing differently for each of us. One day, someone will press a mystical button and we'll all wake up, discovering a reality totally different from the one we've known until now. Scientists are studying this question and have made some incredible discoveries. If this theory is true, it would mean that our lives could end at any moment. Share your thoughts in the comments.
So in the mid-2000s, there was a TV show called Lost. And it was like 7 years long. And I actually enjoyed it. I liked it. I like science fiction. I'm a nerd, and I liked it. And at the end, my dad and we surmised, and a lot of other people, that it was just the brain blinking out in the plane crash as they all perished, and created this elaborate island, this elaborate life that they lived for however long after they had lived, or forever, for however long after they had passed away. And while that took 7 years, here I guess we're at 12 years almost. So who knows when we're finally gonna get off the island.
Have you guys heard about this? They are claiming they have found the geographical location of the Garden of Eden. And out of all places, you won't believe this, the North Pole.
I've been told there's no land at the North Pole. But if we look at a live wind finder view, we can see in the center of the Earth there is something large diverting the wind. What is this, you may ask? Well, I'm about to show you. Just go ahead and type in on Google, old map of the North Pole, and all these old maps will come up from the 1500s. And here's what they look like. Look right here, made in 1595. And if we look in the center of the map here, we have what is called the Rupus Nigra. Rupus Nigra was believed to be a huge magnetic rock located at the North Pole. This is why all the compasses point north. The Rupus Nigra was 33 miles in size, which is literally bigger than most cities, which is why it's able to block the wind like this at the North Pole. It's funny how all the early NASA Satelloon footage looks like this, with some big black hole in the center. Nothing to see here, guys. If you guys didn't know, this is literally the mountain that's spoken about all throughout the Bible. This is Mount Zion, which is located directly above the Garden of Eden, which is why you see these 4 rivers coming out of it. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads. If we look in the book of Ezekiel, thou hast been in the Garden of Eden. Thou wast upon the holy mountain of God. So we know the holy mountain of God is located in the Garden of Eden. Rupus Nigra is the holy mountain of God. They're beautiful in elevation, which means it's very high. The joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion in the far north, which is why you can literally see the very top of it poking out through the clouds. No other mountain in the world does this.
So just in case you missed it, let me break it down in simple terms. We are given the impression by NASA based on images that are taken from satellites. It's just one big black hole based on the images that we see. But maps from the 1800s reveal that there is actually land on the North Pole. It is not some black empty void space. Now one would have to question, why would they hide this from us? What's the point? Now, what these maps from the 1500s reveal about the North Pole, there is a gigantic mountain or rock mass that is right there at the North Pole. And this can be confirmed today if we look at modern wind finder view technology. You will see there is a massive mass of some sort right at the North Pole that is blocking the wind or redirecting the wind around it. Now, just a sidebar, this massive rock at the North Pole, or this mountain-like structure, was known as the Rupus Nigra. Now, guess what Rupus Nigra means? It means black rock. That name Black Rock sounds real familiar. Now, this massive mountain or black rock they believe to be is the literal Mount Zion. And based on the book of Ezekiel, some people believe that Mount Zion was right beneath the Garden of Eden, which makes the topic we're talking about so believable, because this mountain is surrounded by water that flows in 4 different directions. And how is it again that the Bible describes the Garden of Eden? Genesis 2:10. A river flowed out of Eden to water the garden, and there it divided and became 4 rivers. Wow. In the book of Ezekiel, we can see the Garden of Eden being referenced directly to the holy mountain of God, or Mount Zion. Very, very interesting to say the least, right? Now, is this true, and is it the real geographical location of the Garden of Eden? Well, I'm not sure. It could be. It's not like they've ever found it in history to our knowledge anyway. But then again, that would give credibility to the Bible being true, and there's a lot of forces at work that just do not want us to know that. I also think it's interesting how NASA would go out of their way to black out
I like videos that point to scripture as evidence. I mean, I don't necessarily point to any kind of scripture for any kind of evidence, but I like when they're trying to prove something that is scripture based, they go to the scripture and see how it works together nicely. As far as hiding those the images, how it had the black hole, I think when back in the day when they had those balloon, like he called it a satelloon, when they have those up there like that, when they take a picture directly down, the item or the part in the middle is unexposed. So that's why that was like that. I don't think they were actually trying to hide anything there. As far as the wind patterns showing that there is something there, that's fantastic. I mean, I like that as far as showing some kind of evidence. Whether it's accurate or not, of course, I don't know because I'm not educated in these actual things. So I like watching people explain why they're right. And they did a very good job. That's why I'm glad we watched that one, even though it was kind of long. Um, and I guess that's going to be the end of it. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate your time. I hope to see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Here's my cutting room floor. No, we're not going to go with that. We're going to leave that one alone. Now, my understanding, of, well, how else is she going to stay alive for many, many years after we all like get nuked in the reset, right? For why, I don't know. I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button. Subscribe. Yeah, I just don't care enough. She's a witch. Does it bother you? Doesn't bother me. I hope you consider hitting that subscribe. I can't say subscribe. Hey, that's interesting. I mean, yeah. Because I'm making a new video every day. Every day. All the days. See, today, I'm doing this again tomorrow. I did it yesterday. I'm going to do it the next day. Go, oh, no, that's unacceptable. Just take it out. We don't need that part. You know? Yeah, I don't know. Give me a second. The puppy needed up. That seems like an awful lot of information that has been rejected from the Bible. Just how I am. As far as that, I'm not saying anything else.